Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Ryan. Today's YouTube video, I'm back in the Fletcher here in World of Warships. The map is North, the battle mode is Domination, and I have decided to do something that's just a little bit out of character for me on this particular map, and I've decided that I am going to go to the A cap point. Normally I don't like the A cap point because it's very open, very exposed, and a lot of cruisers and battleships tend to gravitate towards that location. And generally, because of the forward and aggressive playstyle, I usually end up too far forward, out in the open, and shot at by everything. The team has also decided to go to the A cap point. If you look at the minimap, you can see this characteristic lemming train headed this direction. There are a couple of players on the team who've decided they wanted to go to C, and they're asking for support from the team. But pay attention to the minimap, they're going to have a bad time. As I get into the A cap point, I'm actually surprised that I haven't been contested yet. Normally when I go here, there's usually at least one enemy destroyer who joins me, and it's usually a fight for this location. I fire off a set of torpedoes off at the North Carolina in the distance there, kind of waiting to see what he is going to do, as well as what this Kutuzov and this Hipper are going to do as well. Now, the Kutuzov is closest to me, and I do need to be careful. In fact, being careful, not paying attention, I almost drift out of the cap and lose all my cap progress. I pop my speed boost consumable because it'll actually help me stop faster and reverse back into this cap. But also, I pop that consumable because as soon as I cap this location, I want to get out of here as quickly as possible. I'm finally being contested here at the A cap point, but only kind of, sort of. Managed to land one torpedo hit on that North Carolina. Not too much damage done. Did cause some flooding, but of course he's going to repair that as my second set of torpedoes misses him completely. Enemy Kutuzov pops his smoke screen. Now, the reason I want to get out of the A cap point as quickly as possible is because there are more enemy destroyers than there are friendly destroyers. And while I do have some backup and support, I need to be very careful of those enemy destroyers because they do have a gearing on their team, and that's the last ship that I want to run into. Enemy team manages to secure a first blood by taking out one of our tier 10 destroyers. Now, pay attention in chat because that tier 10 destroyer is going to get incredibly salty about it. Incredibly salty about it here at the beginning of this battle, and a little bit rightly so, because again, if you look at the minimap, pretty much all of the members of my team have gone over here to the A cap point. I bought my smoke screen to try and get shots onto this North Carolina. He was very low health after taking a couple of torpedoes from the Shimakaze, but of course, he ends up dying before my shots even reach him. Hit a torpedo hit into something in that smoke screen, which is always nice. I love hitting things in smoke. Didn't manage to kill whatever it was, so that's either one of the tier 10 destroyers with survivability expert, or it was one of the cruisers. And I'm almost positive that there are two cruisers in there. Second set of torpedoes almost into that smoke screen. I take shots onto this other North Carolina here. Try to light him on fire, cause as much damage as I can and ruin his day. And manage to sink one of the two enemy cruisers that was in that smoke screen. And that was the Admiral Hipper. My team has managed to pull it back quite well. The enemy team in the process of capping pretty much everything. So my team isn't gaining any points that way, but because we've killed 3 enemy ships, including 1 destroyer and a cruiser, we are in the points lead for now, and that's an important way to start this battle. The enemy team now has the same number of destroyers that my team has, which is good, and there is one of them right there. And that's the gearing, and that's the destroyer I really don't want to get into a gunfight with. Mostly because he's got a better rate of fire than I do, and bow on, he's got more shells. Another enemy destroyer pops up here. This time it's the other tier 10, the Shimakaze, and he is sitting in that smoke screen. And it looks like I'm going to hit him with a torpedo. Come on. Yes, nearly kill him. Somehow he manages to survive. I risk it, open up with my guns to get the kill on him, and finish him off then and there. But of course, I am being detected because I am in range of that battleship. But hold on, I just hit something else in that smoke screen. And there is what I was hoping to hit. That is the second enemy cruiser there, and that's the Kutuzov. I try desperately to switch over to armor piercing while he's broadside on, because at this kind of range I can do a lot of damage with armor piercing with the Fletcher. Trying to get those shots out, keep motoring on, gets taken out by friendly ships. I think the Alabama's secondaries finish him off. Switch back over the high explosive as I'm gonna come around the backside of this hill. Successfully defended the A cap point. We've taken out 2 of their destroyers. The enemy team has taken out a couple more ships, but we're still in the ship's lead. Friendly gearing up here is engaging the enemy gearing as we managed to take out yet another ship from the enemy team. This was the other North Carolina. That gearing is not having the best of luck here, and it kind of feels like this guy was maybe not the best player in the world. Not entirely sure why that was and how he's handling the situation, but he's pretty much got no chances. He's got a Fletcher and a gearing both engaging him. But he was at least smart enough to engage the enemy gearing and not try to shoot at the Fletcher. Enemy gearing, obviously a much bigger threat. And if he can take that ship out of the game, his team has a little bit better chance. Friendly battleship up here in the B cap point, who did cap up in the B cap point, is pretty low health, and I was going to come around through this gap and provide a nice long smoke screen for him. But as I get up here, you'll notice that the other enemy destroyer, the last one on the team, has popped up, and I decided I don't want to get that close and risk it, especially not with a bunch of battleships over there. I start getting shots out of him. I'm going to try desperately and kill him as he starts popping his smoke screen. He's very close to death. Come on, get those shots out. He is in his smoke screen. Yes, finish him off, and then hit the enemy battleship with a couple of torpedoes for a wonderful double tap. And now the enemy team is just down to 2 battleships and a cruiser. Now, they do have 2 of the cap points, but my team still has 3 destroyers, and if you'll notice, I haven't taken any damage yet. Not a single point of it. This means all of these battleships are in a very bad situation, especially these 2 Bismarcks that are pushing up here. As I continue putting shots out here, trying to set these guys on fire, and with any luck, I'll be able to do that. Now, I've got 2 of them here that I have to worry about. And I know that the Bismarcks have hydro. But I also know that hydro is only going to show up at about 5 kilometers. So I've got a little bit of a wiggle room here. Of course, as I get my first set of torpedoes out at the first Bismarck and my second one out at the second Bismarck, both of them turn hard. It's almost like they're coordinating. Unfortunately, I've gotten too close to that Bismarck, or I should say that Bismarck's gotten too close to me, and now his defensive hydro has spotted me. So I start motoring fast. I'm going to try and avoid taking too much damage here. Have one of my guns knocked out. Earn my Confederate as I continue putting round after round of high explosive into this ship. Friendly Shimakaze, though, has come up to support me, which is wonderful on him, especially when you realize he doesn't have a lot of health left, and the enemy Bismarcks are just wrecking him with their secondaries. Fortunately, no longer detected as the Shimakaze manages to take out that Bismarck. And he lays a smoke screen, then I can go ahead and hide behind. Now, as much as I'd love to get torpedoes back onto this, there's a friendly battleship that's actually blocking me from getting torpedoes off. But of course, that battleship's got a lot of HP, so I'm not too concerned about him dying anytime soon, and I don't want to put torpedoes into a friendly teammate at this point. So I'm just going to continue to sit back behind my smoke screen and put as many rounds of ammunition as I can downrange. We take out all but 1 left, and that's just a cruiser, and he's got 2 battleships, 2 destroyers, and, well, pretty much everybody on the team shooting at him at this point. This cruiser stands no chance. No chance at all. And really, at this point, I'm just trying to get as much damage in as I can before the inevitable occurs. And we take him out for victory. And that battle lasted just over 10 minutes total from start to finish. That's it, 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, I did 151,000 damage. Well, just shy of 151,000 damage. Earned myself a Confederate and a double strike. And, of course, 600,000 credits in that game. 4 kills, surprisingly enough. This earns me top of the team for XP earned at 2,600 base XP in this battle. Well over 1,000 higher than the next nearest player on the team. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will grant you early access to some of my World of Warships replays and screenshots. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can do so by sending it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships, among other games, live on Sundays at about 10 a.m. Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight Time, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.